Hello, Eurovision fans. My name's Kristen. I'm your Eurovision auntie, and today, with my nice, luxurious faux fur blanket, I am here to talk to you about this year's Luxembourgish entry, La Poupée Monte Le Son, and how it relates to and references the winning song from the contest 60 years ago. Wow, it's kind of hard to believe sometimes that there have been that many editions of the Eurovision Song Contest, but then I remember that I've watched them all multiple times, and it's taken forever. So, yeah, it does make sense. You know what else took forever? The research for this video. I did luck out though, because there was an author named MJ who wrote an article for the website Phoenix ESC titled Editorial, La Poupée Monte Le Son, Taking Back Control or Harking Back to the Past. So I referenced that quite a bit, and a few other websites, Wikipedia, things like that. So I will let you know when I am referencing something, and I will have all links down in the description.
Je suis une poupée de cire, une poupée de son.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. I do have a lot to cover on this part in particular, but I do promise it's important for the rest of the video. The song that won 60 years ago was also sent by Luxembourg. It was called Poupée de Cire, Poupée de Son, and it was performed by the 17-year-old France Gall. It was written and composed by Serge Gainsbourg, a famous pop songwriter at the time in France and mostly in other French-speaking parts of the world. The title translates to wax doll, rag doll, or wax doll, sound doll, wax doll, sawdust doll. I'm not really sure which one it is, and I also kind of think that's the point. According to the article on ESC Phoenix, Serge's lyrics were well known for being, quote, full of puns, wordplay, and double entendres, which you will see in what's coming up. And I really don't want to have to talk about stuff like this, but it is, like I was saying, pretty relevant for the rest of the video. I'm sorry if you like his music, that's entirely its own thing. But the guy is a fucking creep, okay? He sexually harassed Whitney Houston on live TV. Like, it was gross. It wasn't just flirting, okay? It was very direct and revolting. And then there's this part that I don't want to have to talk about, but it does illustrate pretty well what I'm talking about here. He had this song called Lemon. It's lemon blank, and it rhymes with the zest. Lemon zest, right? And it's also wordplay. And another hint is that the video involved him laying unclothed in a bed with his teenage daughter. Oh, and I mean, like, dating teenagers was not out of the norm for him either. So this should let you know all that you really need to know about Serge working with a 17-year-old France Gall. In her biography of Serge Gainsbourg, A Fistful of Gitane, Sylvie Simmons wrote that the song was catchy and on the surface pretty annoying. Perfect Eurovision fodder, in other words. But closer examination revealed perspicacious lyrics about the ironies and incongruities inherent in baby pop. Which is what I'm trying to get people to understand or care about with La Poupée Monte Le Son. It's not just some surface-level pop song with zero deeper meaning. It's not just junior Eurovision fodder. It's a song that is about empowerment and autonomy. Now, anyways, back to France Gall. She had already worked with Serge Gainsbourg on 2 different songs before she made it to Eurovision in 1965. So she already had a pre-established working relationship with him, and so she thought that she could trust him. Now, my real problem with it isn't that it's a general criticism of baby pop or just pop. It's that it seems to be that Serge wrote this song to reference specific things about France Gall herself. So let's look deeper into the lyrics of Poupée de Cire, Poupée de Son. Alone, I sometimes sigh, thinking, what's the point of singing love like this without reason, without knowing anything about boys? I'm only a wax doll, only a rag doll, under the sun of my blonde hair, wax doll, rag doll. I'm a wax doll, a rag doll. My heart is engraved in my songs. Wax doll, rag doll. Am I better or worse than a fashion doll? I see life through bright, rosy-tinted glasses. I'm everywhere at once, broken in 1,000 pieces of voice. Alone, sometimes I sigh. I say to myself, what good, singing about love this way for no reason, without knowing anything of boys? I'm nothing but a wax doll, a rag doll, under the sun of my blonde hair. So yeah, it sure seems like old Serge wrote this song specifically about France. And it was just really insulting and misogynistic and degrading. So, how did the song do in the contest? Well, I mean, it won, but it doesn't mean it was received well by everyone. There are rumors that it was booed during rehearsals, mostly because it was just so different to what everyone was used to seeing and hearing on the stage over the past decade of the contest existing. And let's be honest, every year we hear the same thing once competitors and entries are dropped. This song just isn't Eurovision enough for me. I have said that this year. So, like, I get it. But still, booing? Like, booing in 1965 Eurovision. Like, that didn't happen. This wasn't 2009 in Greece, okay? And by the way, Greece, like, what happened there? Like, give Auntie the tea, because y'all were feisty. Now, some common critiques of this performance was that it just wasn't good enough, that she was out of tune, and that she just was too pale. Too pale? Okay. And when she called her boyfriend at the time, immediately after winning, he was such a jerk. Like, he was just like, oh, you were off key. You were terrible. Like, young love, huh? France Gall ended up getting 32 points from the juries that year, with her closest competition being the UK's Kathy Kirby with the song I Belong getting 26 points. So it wasn't exactly close, but that didn't stop Kathy Kirby, according to her own Wikipedia page, from going up to France after the contest and slapping her across the face. Supposedly out of jealousy, there might have been more to it than that, but yeah, she just went up to her and... Damn, girl. All right, everyone, I am back with day 2 of filming. So today my hair had been feeling kind of flat lately, really fine hair. So I put some new mousse into it, and I kind of like it, but it kind of feels out of control. So I don't know. You'll have to let me know what you think. Okay, so where were we? Okay, right. Kathy Kirby acting like an entitled butthead. So my friend Peter John made me this leather-bound notebook so that I could go through all of the Eurovisions, every single one, and rate the songs and take notes and everything. So this is even before I found out that Kathy Kirby was a butthead. Let's see where I ranked her and if I thought that she deserved first or even second place. Let's see, 1965, during this watch through, France Gall did get first place for me. Kathy Kirby got 14th out of 18. That's how crap I think her song is. Who did I give second place? Ireland. Butch Moore, I'm Walking the Streets in the Rain. Third place I gave to Denmark. So yeah, Kathy, your song sucks. It's always sucked, in my opinion, and you're an entitled butthead. So back to the story. So it seems like people either loved or hated this song, and at first, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't really sure what to make of it, mostly because, like I said before, I was just kind of slapped in the face, pun intended, with how different it was to everything that I had seen before. And her vocal tone was a little grating to me, a little nasally, I don't know. But I also think, like, that's just what baby pop sounds like. That's just how they sing. So I don't know, eventually it grew on me after watching the show for a second time and watching the performance itself like 1 dozen, 2 dozen times, who knows at this point. And it wasn't really watching the song over and over again that really got me to like it more. It's knowing the meaning of it, knowing the history behind it, knowing how it affected France and what she did with her life afterward. It helped me put all of this context together and look at it from another perspective. And that is what I truly love about digging deeper into these songs like this. So I think it's kind of difficult because the instrumentation is fun. The melody that she's singing is fun too. I like it. And it's probably because I don't speak French, because it's just so degrading to her. She was up there singing about how she was stupid and how she just went along with other people and that she just existed as a doll. Like it's kind of difficult to like a song and also hate it at the same time. At this point, I really do think that France's performance of this song is a classic. And it only took until 1965, but she managed to drag the Eurovision Song Contest kicking and screaming into the 1960s. And we all know that needs to be done periodically, or the show gets incredibly dated incredibly fast. So in that way, the song is great, but it makes me sad because France really didn't understand the content of that song, and she lost a lot of trust and faith in the adults around her that were supposed to protect her and prevent something like this from happening. She assumed that someone would tell her, and no one did. So I will include an interview link where France discusses this. It is from a creator called NoFlay. I don't know if this is the original source for this interview or not. It might be out there. This is just where I found it. So a year later, France recorded another song by Serge called Les Sucettes, I think I said that right, about a girl who likes lollipops. Now this song was 100% directly about France because she had just told Serge that she went on holiday to visit her parents and that there really wasn't much to do around that area, so every day she would go out and get an aniseed lollipop. And he wrote this song because of that. So the fact that it, again, is incredibly sexualized shouldn't have come to surprise to anyone, but because France was incredibly innocent and naive, it went over her head again. It's just really upsetting that France, being such an innocent and trusting person, led to her being used as a plaything for Serge, and again, none of the adults around her, none of the people in charge, none of the people who knew better did anything about it. It blows my mind. It's not surprising, but at the same time, incredibly disappointing. So this Les Sucettes song, right, it included having her sing about how she was in, quote, paradise every time that little stick is on my tongue, end quote. Disgusting. It was about how it made her kisses taste sweet, etc. Like, it's gross. It's gross. And she said afterwards she felt utterly humiliated and betrayed because no one thought to put a stop to it. And then she ultimately said that she wasn't mad at Serge about it, but mad at the world. Because again, the world thought that this was acceptable. The people around her, the people in charge, thought that this treatment of her was acceptable. Now, I think that she should probably be mad at Serge as well, but that's just me. Afterward, France refused to ever sing Les Sucettes again, and she said that she was never going to speak to Serge again either. But this is where things get complicated. I found at least 3 songs that she recorded with him in 1967. There was one song that didn't come up until a 2003 CD compilation. There was one that she did with Serge as a duet about a woman on death row. And this was all after Les Sucettes. I even found a couple more in 1972. So what happened? What made her change her mind? I had to do some looking into this, and it wasn't exactly easy to find. The only thing that I found was from the Wayback Machine, and I had to run it through Google Translate, so excuse me if there are any errors in this translation. But here is what France had to say. I went back to see him at that point because nothing was working, and he kindly agreed to write me these 2 songs. The lyrics were perfect, but they weren't what I expected. I wasn't happy recording them. That's when I realized he had said everything he had to say to me. In fact, he never knew me. What interested him was what he projected onto me. Now, I'm not entirely sure the actual source of this interview, but I found it on Serge's own website, and I'll put a link in the description. Very odd place to find it, since it doesn't exactly paint him in a good light, but he was also dead at this point. He died in 1991, so it's not like he was in control of what went on his website, and I don't know who was, but that's where I found this. I'm going to have to keep digging to make sure that it 100% is France's words. But again, I'm just not sure why Serge's website would put it up there. Why would they lie or manufacture this quote to paint him in a bad light? I'm not sure, but I'll keep looking. So it does sound like it was desperation on France's part. I'm glad that she realized after seeing these songs and the lyrics that he wrote for her what a creep Serge was. And I think that helped her understand better the way that he viewed and the way that he treated her, and she didn't like it. I think France was just a really sweet and trusting, kind person, and the world didn't deserve her. I wouldn't have put it past her to think that, oh, maybe he's changed, or, maybe we can still salvage our working relationship because we had been successful in the past. And this desperation on her part just further pushed her in that direction. He did not see or treat her as the person that she was. He just projected everything onto her, and that's gross. So, good for her. I'm glad that she was able to see the light, because she deserved so much better. She deserved so much better, and like I said, the world did not deserve France Gall. Okay, so let's move on to the Luxembourgish entry for this year. Poupée Monte Le Son. Yes, I know I said it wrong earlier. I am learning. Yay. So the song was written and composed by French songwriters Julien Salvia and Ludovic Alexandre Vidal, and it is performed by schoolteacher Laura Thorne. And this song is a direct response to France Gall's 1965 song. It carries a lot of the same themes about dolls and everything, but it comes with a very updated, very feminist, and honestly opposite message as to what France's song gave. Laura's done a lot of interviews talking about the connections and about what the song means to her, so I'm going to go ahead and quote her directly. I will put all of the links down in the description. During the Luxembourgish Winners' Press Conference, Laura said, "A doll is controlled by someone. The one I sing about no longer lets herself be done over." In an interview with Eurovision Live, Laura was asked about the connection between her song and Poupée de Cire, Poupée de Son. She had this to say, "My songwriters didn't want to just write any random song. They wanted to write a song that matches Luxembourg. What better way to do it than with an homage to a former iconic winner? So we really wanted to have that historic aspect in it, and it's really an homage to France Gall. But at the same time, the song addresses an actual issue in the present, and we wanted to show the evolution of society since the time that France Gall has won." In an interview with ESC Bubble, Laura said, "I like the fact that there is a connection with the song from France, especially because it won Eurovision exactly 60 years ago. So I thought it was a great way to honor Luxembourg and its history in the Eurovision Song Contest." Laura added, "But there's also like a modern touch to it, especially with the lyrics to say, yeah, rebellion. The puppet isn't being controlled. It has its own mind or whatever. So I think it's really great to honor the history, but give it a more modern touch. I just love the idea and the project, and it's a really fun song too, so everything drew me to it." When asked about what she wanted the audience to know about the song and how she plans to perform it on stage, Laura responds with, "The story behind the song is like a puppet or a doll. It has to be controlled by someone on the outside. But here, it's like the doll has its own power and can control itself." So Laura says that the lyrics of her song are essentially the opposite of what was presented in France's song, so let's take a look at them. Now thankfully, they aren't full of puns and double entendres that don't translate well into English, so that's going to make my job a lot easier. The title, Poupée Monte Le Son, translates to "the doll turns up the sound," and I think we can assume that that just means that she's not going to be quiet, she's not going to be silent, she's not going to stay small, she's going to take up space, she's going to be loud, she's going to say her opinion, and that's a great message. I love that. Now, let's look into these lyrics more specifically. "If all you see in me is a perfect doll who smiles and then shuts up when you want her to, forget me, I'm not your puppet. That's the way it is, that's the way it is. Your little game is over. New instruction manual. I can do everything without you. It's another setup, another era. I make my voice heard. So above all, don't play the ventriloquist. If you thought I was fragile like porcelain, or more malleable like polyethylene, I'm not like that. I need oxygen. Don't blame me, don't blame me. A new world is calling me. If you were intending to display me in your showcase, with your complete collection of figurines, sorry for you, but I alone determine where my heart goes, my heart goes. Yes, I am pulling the strings. Your doll, as you call her, turns up the decibels. She is the echo of a new generation, without rags or plastic in her specifications. Your doll conducts the music. She turns up the, she turns up the, she turns up the sound. And then we have the chorus. The doll turns up the sound. Remember the lesson. The doll turns up the sound. Watch out, boy. The doll turns up the sound. Okay, so I get that this might be a stretch or kind of a reach or whatever, but it does kind of seem like the lyrics are directly about Serge and the way that he wrote songs for France and the way that he treated her. Lyrics like, the opening line, if all you see in me is a perfect doll who smiles and then shuts up when you want her to, forget me, I'm not your puppet. Another example is, if you thought I was fragile like porcelain or more malleable like polyethylene, I'm not like that, I need oxygen. And again, that might be a reach. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Now, as to public reception after the national finals, it's kind of been mixed. I have read a few people on Reddit say things like, it's an unfair song because France isn't here to defend herself. And what does France have to apologize for here, exactly? She has nothing to apologize for, in my opinion, for all of the reasons that I have already stated in this video. She was a teenager being taken advantage of by a middle-aged man that also dated teenagers. There's nothing for France to have felt bad about here. She did nothing wrong. The criticism that Le Poupée Monte Le Son has is not against France herself. It is against the content of the song that she sang. It is against Serge. It is against the idea that this is the proper way to view and treat young women. Now, I love this channel so much. Overthinking Eurovision here on YouTube, go check them out. Like, that channel, along with Eurovision Histories, like, those are my two biggest inspirations. But they did a video on the semifinals this year with a quick recap and a bit of a review on each of the songs. And they came to essentially the same conclusion that I did, that the doll that Laura Thorne is singing about being is the doll that France Gall turned into. And that is just beautiful to me. And I'm only slightly annoyed that they made that point before I did. I'm glad I'm not the only one that caught that, though. I am. So, good job, you guys. I love you. So, would France have supported Poupée Monte Le Son being in Eurovision? I mean, who could say for sure? Certainly not me. I unfortunately never got the chance to speak to or meet her. I didn't even learn about her existence until after she had passed away, so I don't know. But if I am going to editorialize here, just for a moment, I would say yes. I think that France would be supportive of this song. I think she would be supportive of Laura. I think she might even be on the delegation cheering her on from the green room. I think that's the kind of person that France was. I could be wrong. I don't know. But I think that she would understand that the song is not directed toward her. It is directed toward Serge. It is directed to the idea that young women should be treated in such a poor way, that they should be treated like they're stupid and unable to exist in this world without being held up by someone else. So yeah, I think so. I think an issue with its acceptance is also that a lot of people just aren't aware of or don't care about the France Gall connection. They aren't aware of or don't care about its connection to the past of Eurovision. And, you know, that's fine, I guess. But that led to a lot of people not really understanding why Laura was dressed the way she was or dancing the way that she was. And, you know, a lot of people don't speak French. So they aren't going to look up the translations to every single song. They aren't going to look up the history to every single song in the national final. And even afterward, when it's on its way to the semifinals, people don't always look into that kind of thing. So they just aren't aware of it or they don't care about it. Hello, kitty. This precious boy is just... He's kind of desperate and needs attention right now, so sorry. It's a good boy. It's a good boy. Please don't drool all over me, please. Oh. Oh. Okay. Mm-hmm. I I have heard that they are doing a different staging and costume for the semifinal, and I am very interested to see what they end up doing for that. So this song, in my opinion, is a lot more important to the history and anthropology of the song contest than a lot of people are giving it credit for. Now look, you don't have to like the song, you don't have to vote for it, okay? That's not the point that I'm trying to make. The song's existence is special, to me at least. And so is Poupée de Cire, Poupée de Son. If only because it introduced me to this interesting and sad part of Eurovision history, but also to Franz Gall herself. She was a complicated woman who wanted to be successful and respected in her career at the same time, and unfortunately, she had a difficult time getting that from a lot of people that she desperately wanted to trust. I really hope that Laura's song is able to get its message out a little better before the semifinals, because I really want her to qualify. And, if I can get her a few extra votes just with this video, then all of the effort will have been worth it. So good luck, Laura. I'll be rooting for you all the way from here in the US. I'll be voting for you. I'll be cheering you on. I'm really excited to see how you do. Fingers crossed. Thank you to you and to the writers and everyone involved in the creation of this song. It means a lot to me personally because I was already planning on doing a video about Franz Gall and Poupée de Cire, Poupée de Son, and then this just shows up in my lap this year. It was very fortunate. It just gave me another reason to look into it and to elaborate on it. It's a continuation of something that means a lot to me. So again, good luck. And thank you to you, my lovely viewer, for joining me on this historical Eurovision journey. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, comment, share all the things that feed the algorithm monster. It means a lot to me, helps the channel grow. You know how it works, it's YouTube. Also, a big thanks to Phoenix ESC and all of the other sources that I used in the creation of this video. It made things so much easier. And I'm still only a little annoyed that overthinking it got to this topic before I did. But, I'm still gonna watch you guys. I still love you, so it's alright. I'll be back to you soon with more Barbara Dex tier lists, more videos about songs, about drama and controversy and history, all of the juicy stuff that I love so much. So until then, take care of yourselves, get off of harmful forms of social media, and turn up the sound.